Hi, I'm Patricia Salter Jamieson. Hi, I'm Patricia Salter Jamieson. I'm not a professional politician. I've not held an official political seat. I have not made any backdoor deals. I don't have a personal agenda. I am a lifelong Alabamian who cares about the state and where it's headed. I am a mother who understands the need for an improved and equal education system. I am someone that desires prison reformation. I'm a citizen of Birmingham, Alabama, where increased crime is a concern. I'm a working class citizen who understands the power of a livable wage. I am a native of Atmore, Alabama, and I understand the need for healthcare funding in rural areas for hospitals and treatment centers. I'm a sister of a veteran that have served our country yet have been failed by the VA in this state. I'm a woman who understands that the people are more important than political profiting. I'm a woman who desires to see Alabama at the top with other states in this country. I'm someone seeking your vote and support. As a Democratic candidate for governor of the state of Alabama, I ask that you join me in the fight to improve our national rankings in healthcare, judicial practices, economics, and social issues. I believe that Alabama can unify and beat the opposition that face us. With your help in assisting me in becoming Alabama's next governor, I will ensure we progress and become the state we were meant to be. Let me lead the way.
We're closely following the Alabama governor's race, becoming the Ivy will face 9 Republicans in the upcoming primary election, and on the other side of the aisle, there's 6 Democrats.
She see boy, she be working with her hands. Yeah, that's the grown woman. Grind for the cause, hustle in advance. Yeah, that's a grown woman. Respect from a man, mind don't expand. Yeah, that's a grown woman. Stack up the bands, spend it on the land. Yeah, that's a grown woman. Woman, pack light and keep your faith, right? God first when we aim. It don't matter what the daylight, cause dark gon' come. So prepare in the daylight. Life move quick, it don't wait for your right time. Woman, what your weight like? Burdens got you worried in a late night. Got you moving slow, grown women, we acknowledge it, growing, then move it on. Let go of all your calluses, learning to carry on. A grown woman work to balance emotions and weakest moments. I fail plenty like any, I pick it up, keep it going. I rise late in the night, my hubby trust in my grind. I serve him love of my life, I pack the sword for the fight. I teach my kids how to live, to love, give, and ignite. Wait, they talking rent, we tryna own. What a real estate. You let us in the room, we gon' renovate. We planting heavy later, harvest on a dinner plate. Wait. Don't watch us innovate. The real ones keep it Benny Frake, sis, never imitate. A village full of women with the faith that'll elevate. Grown woman business, we be reppin' with the heavyweight. We on a grown woman business. Why you in your feelings? You could come with us, we be on a whole nother village. And on this level, it's a whole lot of critics. We bring a lot of grown women with us. Respect me like a grown woman. You looking at a grown woman. And we be on a grown woman. You looking at a grown woman. They should wanna be in our vicinity. With sanity's body credit, therapy, and godly deeds, I'll tell the truth for shame the beast. And make every percent of me an enemy to anything against the king. Queen, girl, you better represent what excellence you grown. Yeah, sure to do it, help you do that on your own. Stay unashamed with your name, all the things you'd overcome, and never refrain from relaying, displaying how it's done. I reckon something missing is the misconception that world life's a hype that won't look like the next one. And all that vain advice, the world disguised as blessed, son. They tell you go do what you want, you earned your session. mission. To be the rudest, to be the crudest, to feed excuses, to bring influence, to speak is stupid, so fluent. You should be moving with order, steps could be ruling with guidance that you like, even a garden went wild. You know how that is. Lauren wonders about that nakedness you sport. Maybe it's boredom, but what our daughters see is important. Look, yo, if you disagree, the grown woman meet at 3. I pray we sway you over TV on that grown woman business. Why you in your feelings? You could come with us. We be on a whole nother village. And on this level, it's a whole lot of critics. We bring a lot of grown women with us. Respect me like a grown woman. You looking at a grown woman. And we be on a grown woman. You looking at a grown woman.
Yes, indeed. Grown woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a very special conversation that we're going to have this afternoon, evening, with a very special guest of ours. We have in the studio, and actually, this is our first guest with our new set for our new studio. So you breaking it in with me. How about that? You,
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
so we have in the guest today, we have Patricia Jamieson. I am excited to have you here. So let's put our hands together for our special guest, Patricia Jamieson. Woo! All right, so you got some guests, you got some fans out there already. What's really
Yes.
good? Okay, so
Yes,
let's
thank
let's
you.
let's dig in. Let's dig in. Who is Patricia? Who is Patricia? Let's do the backstory because before we get into all the good juicy stuff about this election coming up and all of the great things that are happening and you being a part of it, let's get the backstory. The backstory, because the backstory is always, it's like the juicy stuff. It's like if you have a good backstory for a movie,
Mm-hmm.
then you got to guarantee that people are going to go and at least check out the movie, which means they're spending their money to make your movie a success. So, in order for us to understand how successful and how important this race is
Mm-hmm.
and your involvement,
Yes.
we need the backstory. So, tell us, who is Patricia? Who is Patricia?
Well,
We saw the video, but who is Patricia?
Patricia Salter Jamieson is a native of Atmore, Alabama.
Okay, Atmore. So you're on the neck of the woods.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. Give us more juice.
And I've been a resident of Birmingham, Alabama now for about 43 years.
Okay. Okay. So you're currently in Birmingham.
I am.
All right.
And I'm in Birmingham. I can't. Let me just say, you said backdrop,
The
right?
backstory. Yep. The
Oh,
backdrop.
see, I went to UAB.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a graduate of UAB, and my goal was to finish school and be on my way.
Okay.
But I got married,
Okay.
and I am a mother of 3 daughters,
All right.
and I'm a grandmother.
Okay.
I have 7 grandchildren.
Wow. Wait. Are you hearing this? Like,
Yeah.
this is a real person we're talking to. We're not talking fluff. We're talking a real person. And I'm really excited about this conversation because, typically when we look at politics, we look at politicians, we look at candidates, we look at individuals that might be interested in or are actively engaged in a real running race. We get a lot of the fluff. And then when they get in office, we don't know who we getting, what we getting, and then it's like, oh my goodness, if I'd have known this from the backstory. So again, I think this is really great, and I think it's important so that people can really make a wise decision and be able to say, well, like, okay, I'll take a chance, or, well, let me do a little bit more research. Now we know the elections is coming up Tuesday, so this is pretty monumental in itself. All right, anything else you want to share? Okay, let's see what's going on with your mic. Let's see. All right. What we're gonna do? Let me give you this one, and then you just tell us a little bit about your mic.
I'm a great grandmother, and can you hear me now? Okay, I'm a great grandmother, and I am.
It sounds like. Hang on. Let's try. You got to talk.
Okay, that's better.
Yes.
Thank you. I apologize, you all. But again, I'm a great grandmother. For those of you all who didn't hear it, and I'm also a working class citizen. I still work. I work 40 hours a week, so I know what it's like to be a working class citizen.
Mm.
I am a licensed ordained minister. I am also a certified clinical health coach. I am a certified cancer registrar, which is basically cancer research. I have served the state as the president of the Alabama Cancer Registrars Association. I've represented the state on the national level. I've also was selected by the American College of Surgeons to train the trainers to come back and train them how to stage the cancers. So we've done that. We've also volunteered with the American Cancer Society, lobbied before the legislature for breast cancer screening for the black belt, and that the money was reallocated back because one of our former governors didn't understand the importance of that funding. So we were able to, well, we were instrumental in getting that back. Um, I think I told you that I'm not a professional politician, but based on what I've said, your audience, you all can hear that I have been a public servant all of my life. All of my adult life, I've served people, and I believe that as a governor, then you should be a servant. If you're going to be the leader of the people, you should serve the people. And that is my goal, is to serve Alabama and to help make Alabama whole.
We're working on that other mic. But first of all, let's put our hands together because I think this is very important. But let's put our hands together for Patricia. I think the backstory is important. Can I get a clap? Can I get a clap? Everybody's like this. They just caught up. I mean, really, really caught up. You know, there are some very important things that when you look at making a decision to run and to be a part of a movement of change, what I'd like for you to do now is just share why you chose to get into the race and then what position are you running for and asking for the vote of the people of Alabama on this coming Tuesday.
I am running for governor of the beautiful state of Alabama.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait. You're running for what position?
Governor.
Okay, should we clap for that? Should we
Yes, sir.
wait a minute. Now you do know you're making history. You do realize
We didn't when we started.
that. It's always, well, listen, Dr. King, all the rest of them,
Yeah.
Rosa Parks, they was just doing the work of
Yes.
change.
Yes, sir.
And so you chose to pick this as your, man, this is your movement for change. Why?
Because and I was inspired to run because I was praying about our state
Okay.
and where she was headed
Hmm.
and asking the Lord to bless us with a good candidate.
Right.
Lord, send us some good candidates. And I was inspired and I heard this little voice say, "You run."
Oh my goodness.
And I wanted to make sure that that was not my emotions because it was never my goal to be in politics. To serve people, yes. Politics, no. I'm just going to pray that we would have good candidates, that the Lord would use those in leadership. That was my prayer. Um, and after a while of going back and forth and dealing with it, and
Right.
I surrendered on January the 19th. I said yes.
Wow. Come on, y'all. Put your hands together. Listen, anybody. Let me. I'm gonna look. I'm looking in the camera right now. This is and thank you for being on our show. Thank you for taking
Thank you
time.
for having me.
Like this is like we are just days away, literally days away,
Yes, Tuesday.
and literally the impact of what you're saying in terms of what change is huge. It's huge. First of all, I don't think you help correct me, but has there ever been an African American woman run for the role or the position of governor in the state of Alabama? Yes, no. What?
No,
So you're the first.
yes, well, there are others in
That
this race, but I am, yes, I'm among
wow, wow.
the first.
So how does that make you feel in terms of the work?
I feel that it's a special work that I have been like Esther for such a time as this to make a difference in the lives of all of Alabamians because our state is so divided and we need unity. We need the cohesiveness. You know, the scripture says that it's good for brethren to dwell together in unity. And more important, well, nothing can get any more important than the word of God. But there's a quote that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. says
Okay.
that I like, and it is he says that we must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools.
Hmm. Wait, wait, wait. Now you can look in the camera. That's a heavy. So
He
say that again.
says we must learn to live together as brothers
Hmm.
or perish together as fools. And it's time, Alabama, that we got together and lived as brothers and sisters.
Wow. Come on, y'all. Put your hands together. This is really good. I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm listening to what you're saying. And if I was a first time person that heard this and I was like, wow, we have someone running for the largest position, I would say, in terms of making a lot of change statewide.
Mhm.
And and for someone to be this passionate and so serious about it, knowing that there is a lot of things that you're going against, there's a lot of the odds, there's a lot of this, but what makes it so important to you? Because I think for if I was, and I'm one of those Alabamians voting on Tuesday as well, I want to know why it's so important to you that I or we or someone or all Alabamians should vote for you. Why?
It is important that you vote for me on Tuesday, May 24th, because when I have a seat at the table, you will have a seat at the table. When I have a seat at the table,
Hmm.
you'll know that you have an advocate that's speaking out on your behalf. All of Alabama will be represented when I have a seat at the table.
Wow, come on, y'all, put your hands together there. And we have some folk in the studio, so when we get back on the second side of this, if they have questions, we'll definitely, if you're okay, we'd love to open
I'm
it up.
okay with
All
it.
right, all right. So there is another question I want to ask. You talked about bringing Alabama together in a more unified effort. Your theme, and I want to make sure I get this right. Your theme for your running campaign is Alabama United. We can do better. Why did you pick that theme amongst all the things that are out there? We're dealing with racial injustice. We're dealing with this. We're dealing with the issue on drugs. We're dealing with the issues on medical marijuana. We're dealing with a lot of issues in Alabama, including education. But why this specific theme? Share that with the folk.
The theme again I was inspired Alabama United again because we are so divided. But I also know that there is nothing that we cannot do together and nothing is impossible when we are united. You know where I'm coming from.
I do. I
You
get it.
know,
I get it.
because when you're on one accord,
Yes, indeed.
there's nothing impossible. Even the Lord recognized that, didn't he?
Yes, and you know, since you said that, and you could continue this, but let me just interject since I'm Minister Fred on the show and I'm Minister Fred off the show.
Yes, sir.
You know, Jesus could have done it by himself, but he had 12 disciples
Yes, he did.
plus one,
Yes.
and 125 that were in the upper room that told others, and the whole message of liberation, the whole message of salvation, that's the spiritual component, but the whole message of being a better people, he didn't do it by himself.
Exactly.
Wow. So
Exactly.
united, Alabama united, we can do better.
Because we can do better than where we are. Alabama ranks the lowest in the nation when it comes to, well, we're 49th in
Right.
education.
Just about. Hmm.
There's only one state that's behind us, that's Louisiana.
Yeah. And I used to live in New Orleans. I used to work actually at the juvenile prison that was down there, Bridge City, and we did a lot of work because, and then one of the biggest things was education was so low that they struggled even with employment because of the lack of educational advancement.
Yes.
So you are spot on. Come on, y'all, put your hands together. That is amazing. So I want to go back to this theme, making history. I wrote this one out because it was pretty impactful for me when I was reading your bio and I went to your web. Tell them your website. How can they go to your website? Let's do that, and I'll ask Professor X to put that on there as well.
Okay. Go to my website. Of course, you know it's www.pat, and it's the number 4 governor.org. Pat 4 governor.org. Thank you. Go out there, ask me questions. You can see my platform in detail. If you want to question me about something that's out there, or if you have any concerns, send me a question and they come directly to me and I will answer.
I love that. I want to pick up a little bit more on this monumental campaign, really, and then we're going to go to a song. And I was thinking and praying about what song should we use and select, and so every song is very intentional, literally intentional about women making significant changes and doing big things. The first song was by AI Anomaly. She's a Christian hip hop MC, female, one of the top in the game, and she says, grown woman, you see a grown woman when we can do this and when we can do that. You see me as a grown woman, like you said, as a mother, a grandmother, as a person of interest involved in the community. I mean, you have done quite a bit and still doing it, and you're
We're
still
trying.
right. I know, but you're doing it. It's in the bio. It's what you're doing. So I want to just kind of just build a little bit on that. So let me ask you this: how will you, as an African American woman in this race, and let's say you run this race and you become the governor, how will you accomplish this united Alabama? We can be better, given its history and the current condition that we are in today. And then we'll go to a video.
Well, first of all, that's a powerful question. I've been asked that question before. And the only way we know to do that is, first of all, come together, Republicans and Democrats. And we're going to come together for the good of the state. Because we are, after all, we were elected by the people to represent the people. So what I would like to do, first of all, is to remind the Democrats and the Republicans that we are here for the people. And let's come and get it done. And we can do it if we work together and not fight each other.
Powerful. All right, come on, y'all. Put your hands together. We're going to go to this video. We're going to come back. I think you're gonna like this one. This is by Maddie Ray, and she says, "Don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me, because I'm in the building. We are in the building,
Yes.
literally, with Patricia Jamieson. You are doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. We'll be right back. No more dirty."
Got my eyes open, I ain't sleeping now. Got my hands clapping at them golden globes. You can keep your opinions on me though. I be litty turned up cause you know I got the Holy Ghost flow. Don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me, yeah, don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me. Stay woke, stay woke. I'm powered by the King. Yeah, I'm powered by the King. Oh, yeah, I'm powered by the, I'm powered by the King. I'm powered by the King. I'm powered by the King. Yeah. Powered by the King. Don't sleep on me 'cause I stay woke. God is faithful flowing 'cause I do things that you want. Live my life to please Him, live to honor. That's my goal. Now watch you, I just do these, grab some paper, take some notes. Catch my wave, no I don't play. Call Him Jesus, He's on the race. Scream out His name when I'm on the stage. Empowered through grace. Whoa, you got what you want, got what you need. I'm gonna sing. Jesus the team, His Spirit's in me. This generation's gonna sing. So I ain't saying my name. Don't be crossing over, trying to go after that fame. If you stay away, you know what I do is for His name. Got my eyes open, I ain't sleeping now. Sleeping no, got my hands clapping at them golden globes. You can keep your opinions on me though. I be litty turned up 'cause you know I got the Holy Ghost flow. Don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me, yeah, don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me. Stay woke, stay woke. I'm powered by the King.
It's like I'm on Elm Street when I rap. Ain't no sleep, cause when they do, I Fred Krueger with a track. Yeah, I'm a nightmare in that daytime. Me, I bring an insane grind in catering like I bear fruit. So you probably heard me through the grapevine. Boy, quit playing. Yeah, hey, stay on ya. Stay on. Straight on ya. Straight on. Praise on ya. Praise on. Grateful ya. Ain't on ya. Hey, gave it all for the lost souls, yeah. Ain't no sleeping on me, yeah.
Don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me, yeah, don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me. Stay woke, stay woke. You can talk, but I can walk the walk. And as I walk the walk, yeah, I can talk too, yeah. It hasn't been easy, but I haven't been sleeping. I just stay on my grind, yeah, I'm never behind, and I do it. If you think it's for you, let me tell you. For my God, for my family, for my church, for our ministry. For the things that stay saturated, church that stays motivated, that stays dedicated. That we never grow weary, get tired, and the things that we do when we go all the way with a national movement, get out of our way as we hop on the stage, and my name made it right, I'll be sleeping on me. Got my eyes open, I ain't sleeping now. Got my hands clapping at them golden globes. You can keep your opinions on me though. I be litty turned up 'cause you know I got the Holy Ghost. Don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me, yeah, don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me, don't sleep on me. Stay woke, stay woke.
Wow. Welcome back. I mean, this is woo. Don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on Patricia. You already know. They better not sleep on them. Tell them who you are again. You already know.
Patricia Salter Jamieson.
Come on, y'all. Put your hands together. I'm just saying, this is good. You see it on the screen. That's it. Hey, wait, keep it up here for a second. Bring it back, Professor. I want you to look at that. Vote Patricia Salter Jamieson. Listen, for governor. That's what she said. That's what she wants. That's what she's going for. And you get something different. You know what I mean? I think sometimes we're so used to Patricia just settling for what we settle. Honestly.
Yes.
You know, and I think the danger in where it's gonna always be like that type of thinking is that it will always be like that until we stop thinking that way. You know what I mean? I think, and I truly believe that if we see better, understand better, that we should walk in a better way. All right. So let's give it up again for Patricia Jamieson. All right. So, and let's give it up for yourself. We got a studio audience. It look good in there. We got, listen, if you have not, you can come on and pull up here. We got another 30, 40 minutes. We're going to give you that. We ain't going to be here forever because it's rainy, a little rainy outside. But we got some Southern fried chicken. I mean, that's good. Was it good? Was it good? Was it good?
It was delicious.
We did right. Did we do okay?
Yeah, you did it real good. So if you all are near, I suggest you come on down and get some because it's on and popping.
And the address here is the session. It's the spot where lives transform. We do a lot of stuff. Session. This is a special session, really. So the address here is 5045 North Memorial Parkway. So if you're on the Parkway, go northbound. If you're coming from downtown or anywhere in the metropolitan area of Huntsville, thank you very much. He's got it up on the screen. Just go on. You pass Alabama A&M Stadium, get to Winchester, cross over Winchester. Then look, you'll see a Bojangles. Then you'll see a Plaza, and you'll see No More Dirty, the spot. You'll see it on the billboard in it. So you can't miss us. And then we'll be in here, and you can get you some eats as well. All right, so let's get right in. Let's talk about your platform. Now that we know a little bit about who you are, you gave us a little backstory. You gave us some really powerful credentials that you really are about the people. You've given us some good information in terms of what inspired you and why you're seeking this position of governor, being the first African American, especially in this era. You know what's interesting, and let me do this real quick. For the last, since even before the pandemic, when the previous election, major election, for the national elections, I mean, it has been amazing to see so many women doing great things. Let's give it up for all the sisters that are making changes, not just statewide, but definitely statewide. But they're also making it. I mean, you, Stacey Abrams. I mean, you could just the former first lady. I mean, we could just talk in terms of those that are working and making a difference in Black Lives Matter. We're talking about those that are working in boots on the ground here in Madison County, in Birmingham. We're talking about Poor People's Campaign. Carolyn Foster. I mean, I could just name them. And now here we got you, Patricia. I'm just saying. Come on, let's give it up. Give it up. So now let's get to the meat of the matter. Why should someone vote for you based upon your platforms? Let's tackle these platforms briefly but thoroughly and give them an opportunity to really go back and take a look at your website and really say, okay, let me look at this governor race. You know what I mean? Because it's serious and we're only a few days out, literally. Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday all day. And please exercise your right to vote. Come on, I'm going to say it again. Exercise your right to voting. Go to the ballot box and vote. People not only die, but people make change when people vote.
So true.
People change things when they vote. You know what I mean? You have to have those that are getting out on the front line, those that do the marching, those that work in the policy making. But at the end of the day, it's he or she who sits in those seats of legislation, of the governor's seat, the Senate seat, and make the decisions based upon their understanding and knowledge of what their people within that state need. And you know, and you have seen, and you're actively engaged. Go ahead. You had something to say?
I only wanted to say this.
Go ahead. This is your show.
That the people can make a difference. It's in their hands. And you have the power with the stroke of the pen, who you send to Montgomery, who you select to represent you, even in your local districts. You have that power. You do not have to accept things as they were or saying it's going to always, no, it'll always be that way if you don't get out and vote. But if you vote, you make a difference. Remember what John Lewis says? Get into some good trouble I recommend that
Come on,
we
y'all.
get into some good trouble and vote.
Yes. You preaching up here. I'm telling you, you got the spirit up in here. So let's tackle the first two. Let's look at the first two platforms. That is on your website. Give me your website
Yes,
again.
sir. The website is www.pat for the number 4
Yes.
governor.org. That's pat for governor.org.
Pat number 4 governor.org. All right, so let's tackle it. You have quite you I think you have about 8 or 9 on there. So let's deal with the first two, and you can expound how you need and see it being livable wage. That's
Yes.
the first one. And then the second one we want to talk about is improving education in Alabama. Could you expound on those two?
Yes, sir. First of all, the livable wages.
Talk to the folk here. Let them know what's up.
Yes, sir. You all, livable wages. I told you all I'm a working class citizen. So I know exactly what it's like to work, to try and make ends meet. And all they're doing is, hey, hey, they never meet. So what we want to do is we want to raise the wages, the minimum wages, so you would be able to live and make ends meet without having to get out and have 2 and 3 jobs to do it. Now, how we want to implement that is number one, by bringing in economic development to underserved communities. We have some communities that it's like a once the children, the teenagers graduate from high school, it's a flight out of there. But we would like to grow our rural communities, but we can grow them by bringing in economic development. So we would like to bring in industries into those areas. And in doing so, they will be able to make a middle class living if we bring in those industries that will pay livable wages. That's not $7.50, $7.70, not even $8 an hour. But we're talking about, and someone on my team, I said, at least let's start with 17.
Yeah.
And I had someone on my team said, no, $22 is where we need to shoot for.
You know, that come on, y'all, put your hands together. That alone would eliminate. I work with families that live and operate in the levels of poverty. Here in this area alone, the average livable wage or living wage that's livable and exactly what you're saying is a little less than $17 an hour. It's $16.70 or $16.89. So that is that number one is profound.
But
That's
we can do
profound.
it.
I mean, listen, just the businesses alone that we have seen coming in here, and we were the best city to live in
Yes.
the United States as of this past weekend. We have Google, Amazon, we have NSA, CIA, FBI, Google Fiber. We can just go, 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 go. And they are literally taking over, and literally they're building buildings, houses. And I mean, look, we're talking about 4,000 additional jobs. 4,000. Now imagine, like what you're saying, that families or individuals 18, let's say 17 and older, or some jobs allow them to come in at 17 as an paid intern, but 18 and older, jumping into 1650, 1678 plus, and getting because on the job you get the training, you get all of that.
Yes.
So you're profoundly correct. You're right. Come on, y'all. Put your hands together. Listen, I'm not just talking this. This is what I do for a living.
Exactly.
And I'm speaking to it because I do this for a living. All right. Number 2. Anything else you want to share about the living wage? Was that good?
We'll tie it in.
Okay. So
to
2, education. So how does that impact education with your platforms if you are sitting at the table so that we can sit at the table?
Okay. I'm sitting at the table. We're having a discussion. and we're discussing education.
Okay. Education.
And number one, education, Alabama's 49th.
Mm.
I told you all that earlier. But for just in case your audience just tuned in, we rank 49th in the nation when it comes to education. So the thing about it is, number one, we want to keep qualified teachers in the classroom. How do we keep qualified teachers and support staff in the classroom? By raising their salaries.
Come on.
That's how we're going to do it. But just think about, so we have some areas where they cannot afford to raise the salaries. Look at the taxes that
Correct.
are being paid.
Correct.
And that's because we don't have livable wages. We don't have the economic development in those areas to
Correct.
support it. So if we bring in the economic development, then the teachers' salaries are going to be able to be raised. And that way we'll have quality education across the board. We don't have to have our children moving across town in order to obtain a quality level of education. We will not have to have in Birmingham, we have in one area, one city, Titusville, where
Right.
there's
Yep.
a charter school wants to come in and take over
Right.
a school that's beginning to flourish.
Right.
But so we want all of our schools across the board to flourish, and we can do that
Mm.
by raising the salary. And one way we also want to raise the salary, I propose to tie in the education lottery.
Okay.
And if we tie in the education lottery, thank you, we can utilize that to support the staff salary increase.
That's true. That's true.
And it's going to affect the livable wage because, listen, check this out. You all know that long laundry list of school supplies that your children bring home every year
Yeah.
at the beginning of school, and you
$500
yes,
per kid.
and you asking, well, what is the school supplying? The desk and my teacher. You know, so what we would like to do is utilize that money that's generated from the lottery to provide those supplies that the children were asked to bring, and that would free up even more money for them to live. That helps free up the livable wages.
That's right. That's right.
So they're not having to do that. I would like to see us also use that lottery money too for scholarships for high school graduates. If you have a B average or above,
yes,
and a state funded institution, we're going to give you a free ride.
You know what? Come on, y'all. Y'all got to put your hands together, because you know what? I was one of those guys that didn't finish and then end up having to go back and finish. And then it was a pilot for what you see today.
See?
I'm telling you, you know, I love school. I mean, I'm a smart kid, but I just didn't see the value in it. And then there weren't a lot of opportunities. And so when I did go back and finish, I was able to walk into positions because I had a BA or a BS or MA or MS. You know what I mean? These kind of things.
Opens. It's
a gatekeeper.
Yes,
that's what it is. It opens the door.
It's a key.
Well, and then the other thing too I love about what you're saying is this: that if you look at some of the other states that have done those things, they have free education now. It took a few years, but they can just walk in, and then you still get the Pell Grant. Come on now, Pell Grant, and then your tuition is pretty much free or free. The institution, I'm talking about the whole state, you can go to school for free. And then you can stack the scholarships on top of the free tuition. Plus you add the Pell Grant every semester.
Yes.
Which is an incentive to go finish your undergrad and move to your master's and your doctorates, which means you can walk into an office at a Google Fiber or a Boeing or whatever, and you can say, I have my degree in this, and I have a undergrad, associate, bachelor's, master's, and you're not broke and have loans 50 to 100,000. Come on, you better put your hands together for Patricia. Come on now, listen, this is real. These are the conversations. That's why we entitled A Conversation with You. We don't have these kind of conversations when you look at it on a lot of times in government, whether it's local, whether it's state, and even sometime when it's federal. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. No,
Thank
come on,
you.
come on, everybody, put your hands together. This is real.
Thank you.
It's real. Okay, so we knocked out, and you're right, they go hand in hand. If you got a good job making 16, 17 plus, then you can afford to be in an apartment that's 700 to 900 a month and still be able to have a car note and still, come on now, you are
Exactly.
spot on insurance and still can be able to go and hang out a little bit on the week and save some money and then look at buying a house 5 years, which now builds your equity bank. Okay, now you are considered an owner. Preach, sister. Preach.
I had an opportunity. I was in a rural area, and we stopped at a restaurant.
Yeah, yeah, right, like
And
these.
look, we stopped at this restaurant, and the young lady, there was a young lady. She said she was complaining about, not to me, but to a coworker,
Uh-huh.
that her salary, you all, 2 weeks, $350.
Wow.
$350 2 weeks. You do the math. If you're getting paid every 2 weeks, how are you going to make ends meet off of $700? You can't do it, can you?
You can't. Which
So-
means there's a strain on the budget for the state now and a strain on tax dollars, tax paying dollars, so that it's a cycle of self-destruction.
Yes.
It's a cycle of self-destruction. And this is bigger than someone being lazy. This is, even if I'm working hard, I still can't pay my bills.
Yes.
Facts. So again, you have an opportunity to be about change. You really have an opportunity to be about change. I know it's close. We got 2 days out. Do the research. Do the research. I don't have nobody sitting in that chair if it ain't nothing real. I'm just telling you, you already know Minister Fred about that life. Front line on everything. All right, so let's go. You going 3 and 4. They're gonna have me preaching up here. I'm not trying to do that today. All right, so the next two. Let's deal with we talked about, well, you kind of covered it, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Increased salary for teachers, and you did that support personnel. Is that covered?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
And may I say this?
Sure.
Think about it though. When we have 4 states that surround our state. We have Mississippi, we have Tennessee, we have Georgia, and we have Florida.
Correct.
Alabama tax dollars are going over to those states every day.
That's right.
Every day. And don't let the lottery hit. You all remember when it got to be 600?
600.
Whatever it was. I know you passed by.
Everybody was driving down 53.
Exactly. I mean, hey, all you see are Alabama tags. In Georgia, Alabama tags. In Tennessee, Alabama tags. In Mississippi, Alabama tags. In Florida. But let's bring that money into our state.
Yeah.
And make it work for us. Let our dollars work for us. I'm sorry.
She preaching. Come on, y'all.
Because we just got to do better.
Come on. Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it really does make sense.
We've got to do better.
Alabama United. We can do better.
We sure can.
Not that we haven't done some good things, but we can do even better things.
Yes.
Now.
Right now.
All right, so let's get out. I got to cover this one. This one's good right here. And y'all thought this was just going to be a conversation. Nah. All right, so we're going to deal with this one. I want to talk about your other one, expanded Medicare and prison reform.
Yeah.
Which is something close to me. So I want to hear what you got to say. Let's go. What's up?
Well, first of all, I'm sure you all know your grandma, or if not your grandma, your great grandma, if not her, the next door neighbor, Miss Susie down the street,
Addie Ray.
or Deacon Brown, who is trying to make a decision. Am I going to pay my bills, or am I going to buy my medication, or am I going to pay the rent or buy groceries or go to the doctor?
Mm.
So you know what's going to come lacking is the health. We need to expand it. We can do it. We can do better. I want to see us do it because of our citizens that are on fixed incomes.
Yes.
It should be illegal to be in the United States of America and you have to struggle and make a decision between health care and your everyday living needs.
Come on, y'all.
Or they call them, look, in nursing, we call them everyday activities, that we have to do for
Right,
living.
right. Yeah.
I want to see us do better. I want to see us make a difference in the lives of all of our citizens because we got Black, white, Latino, Native American. We all need Medicare expansion.
And you know, it's
And then we have
interesting.
children.
Right. That alone,
Then,
child care,
yes,
that impacts child
yes.
care, CMA, that impacts all of those areas that are cushion makers so that it
Yes.
doesn't eat up all of your disposable, or that means net, that means after the taxes, state, that's
Yes.
FICA, FIDA, all of that. After that comes out, then you have what's left. Disposable income
Yes.
or net
Yes.
income if you're in accounting.
We got to do better.
We got to do better. Come on, y'all. Put your hands
We
together.
got to do better.
And it makes sense because, just you think about it, every year we get an opportunity to get Medicaid for the state and they don't take it. I don't understand that for real, for real. I don't get that at all. Period. I don't care what you call yourself. If you can get some free money to make sure that your people in your state are good. So again, this
For
is
the
just
good of the
for the
people.
good of the people, the greater good. We can do better.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk prison reform because I deal with a lot of brothers and sisters that are like, hey, Mr. Whitlow, I got a felon. I got this, I got that, but I did my time. I don't have a tracker on my knee or my bracelet on my ankle. I'm good, but I can't get I can't get a job because because the ban has been overturned and so on. So what are we going to do? What are you going to do that's going to make a difference in that area? Prison reform. You good? You good?
What we would like to do, what we're going, if you elect me as your next governor on May 24th, I promise you that we are going to implement some changes in prison reform. Number one, the case scenario you just shared, we need to fix that.
Yep.
Because I believe that if you do the time, when the time is done and complete and you are released, then your records should be clear. You should be able to
Come on, wait. You got to clap on that. I got about a homies and sisters. I do a lot. And they be like, man, Mr. Willow, I can't get a break and I ain't doing that no more.
I had a young man tell me last weekend in Mobile, Alabama, he said, I would vote for you, but I can't vote. That broke my heart. He said, I would vote for you, but I can't vote because you are an American citizen.
Come on.
But you can't vote. You still locked up.
Come on.
That's how I see it.
Right.
So if you serve your time, let's first of all give you back all of your rights.
Right.
They need to be restored. No strings attached.
Come on.
When you walk out that door, you should be able. That's a bondage.
It is. It is. You're
That's
right.
a bondage, and and it's by design.
Come on.
It's by design. Think about it.
Yeah. And you know what? What's really deep about what you said? This is the reason why, and I'm going to say this to people that look like me and have different shades in me. This is why we have to vote.
Exactly.
I don't care what you're doing. On Tuesday, you need to say to your employer, can I clock in and I leave? I get that 15-minute break or that 30-minute lunch break. Go vote. We seen this state turn colors. In the last few years, we've seen people in positions that we have never seen over almost 203 years. We ain't been in existence but so many centuries, couple centuries, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about change, change is always in the hands of the people.
Yes.
Change is, listen, in the hands of the people. So imagine what you're saying, and it can be done, and it's being done in other places. Facts. We just have to now do better in Alabama. I love that.
And
Now
what
you gonna have
and,
me
and what
cooked.
we
I'm gonna have to write a rap for that one. You gonna make me go down some lanes here.
Yes, sir. And what else? What we want to do too? We have some inmates currently serving sentences that were unjust.
Correct.
So, what I would ask the Department of Corrections to do is we're going to go back and look at those cases individually because we have advocates, we have family members that are concerned, and I've heard their stories, I've heard their cries. I've heard how they have been extorted by the big businesses that are in the prisons.
Correct.
You know, a package of cigarettes, $14.
Yep. Yep.
One little individual package, you all, hear me, you all, one little individual package of those Ramen noodles, 86 cents a package. Just for the one little package, I think we pay what, $1, $2 for them? They pay 86 cents. So where are they getting the money?
You get 4 in a pack for $1.
Well, they pay 86
So they paying
cents.
basically $1 with tax.
Yes.
85 cent times 9.
And that's
94 cents.
And you know who's paying that money? Their families are giving them money. So we are exactly. So the families are having to put money on the books. That's taken away from the livable wages for their families.
Right.
So the families are having to struggle because they don't want their children or their fathers or their sons or their daughters to be in prison hungry because, like, on a day like today, they get 2 meals.
Correct. And we just saw that in the paper.
Oh,
We just saw that in Alabama's they're going to court now because of that. I work with a couple organizations that I'm a part of a couple organizations now that are fighting just that battle with individuals and shout out to Poor People's Campaign and HBCU Legal Focus Group. It's just a lot of great organizations that are fighting for the rights of people that have made mistakes, some that are out, some that are in, but they're not being treated. That's now an issue of human injustice, human indecency.
yes.
And so I'm really appreciative that you took the time to share with all of us, because at the end of the day, we can and we must do better.
And listen, I had a conversation with an inmate down in the Fountain Correctional Center in Atmore. He gave me a list of 4 classes of citizens in the state. The last 2 brought tears to my eyes. Number 3, he says, are dogs, your pets.
Pets, animals. Right.
Mm-hmm. And the 4th one, he said, were inmates. He said, because we, the free people, see them as inhumane, and they are treated as inhumane. We have got to do better by our inmates. We send them there, look, and the vocational training that they're supposed to get.
Yep.
Do you realize that it's bogus? And I'm saying, yes, it's bogus, because this gentleman told me that out of a quarter, they only required to go to class or have to attend 30 days out of a quarter.
So you're talking a quarter or a semester,
A quarter.
12 weeks, and you only have to go to how many?
30 days.
So
and you
out of
can
12,
fail
can
your
be-
final exam and still pass.
because they have to have the numbers to justify having the secondary colleges. And listen, this is the reason we're having this conversation.
That's why we need reform.
And nothing changes until we change.
And we have to shed the light on it.
That's it. Come on, let's
And
put
we
our hands
need to
together. Let's
expose
put
it.
our hands together again. Wait. Because what you're talking about is not being talked about. So, folk, you got to make a decision. Are you wanting to, on Tuesday, who are you going to elect? Who are you going to go to the ballot? And where are you on the ballot? Because some people,
I'm number 3 on the ballot. 1, 2, 3. Number 3 as your Democratic governor candidate,
okay,
Patricia Salter Jamieson. Number 3 on the ballot.
okay. So let me do this real quick. We only have a few more moments, but if you could, Professor X, if you can go ahead and put the graphic up, I want them to make sure they see her picture, her face, her name, and so on, so that they can do that. Because I want you to be able to see who you will consider. And of course, it's your decision. There it is. Vote Patricia Salter Jamieson for governor. Y'all see that? Do the research. Go to her website, www.pat,
Pat.
the number 4 governor, right?
Right.
.org. All right, that's that for org. Okay. All right, come on. Let's put our hands together. We're gonna wrap this up with a. I want to, and then I'm gonna do a nice video for you because you bringing it home, sis. And thank you again for take time.
Thank
And
you
let's
for
thank
having
our
us.
audience out here. We got folk clapping on the audience.
Thank
so
you
give
all.
yourself a, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying, looking good. We were gonna stream it. They were like, no, don't put me on no camera. You know, that's a no go. All right, so all right, so I do want to tackle this one. Now, these are the 2 hot buttons, hot topics. Decriminalization of marijuana.
Mhm.
All right. And then let's do that one. And then we're going to do mental health, and then we need to do physical health. So do
Okay.
you want to tackle those all together, or you want to do, let's do one at a time, decriminalization, and then we'll just walk that all
Yeah,
the
and
way
then
to
we
the,
can do the health together.
okay, you got it.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready. Are we ready? Y'all ready? Wait a minute, y'all ready? All right, let's go. We ready.
We want to decriminalize marijuana because if we decriminalize it, in other words, we're going to make it legal
Okay.
for personal use.
All right.
And when we say we're going to make it legal for personal use, what it's going to do is, as far as the prison population,
Okay.
it will decrease. How are we going to make it legal? I'm so glad you all asked. We're going to use the medical marijuana producers to sell it just like they would the medical marijuana. And that way we will eliminate our young people buying it illegally.
The street side.
And exactly, and it's laced with fentanyl, cocaine, or crack. And then we have them dying from an overdose
Correct.
that we didn't even know that they didn't know that fentanyl was in there. Or then they find themselves severely addicted to it, but they're addicted to what's been added to it.
Correct.
So when we utilize the medical marijuana producer, it's a pure form. When I say pure, I mean there's
Purist. Right.
there's no additives. We also would have an age limit on it, just like cigarettes.
Correct.
And you have to have an ID, so we're going to know who's purchasing it, and we're going to tax it. So we'll have
Right.
money off of it. And what I also want to do is those that are incarcerated right now,
Okay.
and some of them have like 15-year sentences, what we would, for personal usage, not the distributors.
Correct.
So what we would like to do for them is this: expunge their records, offer them a vocational training, a legit, serious, for real vocational training. So when they walk out of those doors, they're walking out those doors capable of making a livable,
Wage.
yes, wages.
That's great. That's
And
great.
so when they are able to make a livable living with those livable wages, they can walk out making on a middle class income.
Correct.
Because you know, if you call the heating and air man today,
Correct.
okay, or if you have to call auto mechanic man today,
Oh yeah, per hour.
yes.
Just labor, not to mention the shop's cost, just labor.
So if we can train them, educate them, get them working, what we will do is close the revolving door so that they're not in that cycle. Because if we don't expunge their cases, they got a felon, and they can't get a job,
Right.
and they go out. We've even heard of some of the inmates leaving, going out to get jobs,
Hmm.
who really weren't trained, who did those 30 days only.
Right.
And then the employer found out that they didn't
Didn't
know
really
what
know
they
what
were
they're right.
exactly. They terminated them. They were right back in that survival mode, and they were right back in prison.
Come on, y'all. Let's put our hands together. Now, let me tell you what I think is really interesting. And I'm speaking from my personal, being a person of faith. I think this is probably one of the most unique approaches to the issue on marijuana, because we've had so many different conversations. And I think it has some solid validity to it. Now, let me tell you, Cheryl, let me share why I said that. And the reason I said that is because when you think about it, right, when we talk about marijuana and the use, you have that you got the guys is putting it out there and they're lacing it and this and that. So you're not getting what it could be, without all the THC and all of this and that. But when you talk about the medical marijuana that has been tested and proven, and it has a component that has a healing component outside the original herb itself, you'd really have some positive results. And then you can also address those that are totally addicted. They're hooked, like
Yes.
they're marijuana addicts. I have some friends that are addicts and they had to go and get treatment. So it is my hope that this will be a solution to that. And I just think it's positive in the fact that you take that lane to address the issue of decriminalizing marijuana, and then that way, if you are dealing with it, and hopefully that'll help a brother or sister say, listen, I don't necessarily need this stuff.
Exactly.
Versus, if you don't, we're gonna lock you up. We just gonna lock you up. And they're like, whatever, I've been locked up before.
Exactly.
And then again, you're actually pushing the presence of being more of a criminal than someone who can actually get some healing from this.
Yes.
So thank you for taking the time to do that. Let's give it up one more again. And again, go to her website, www.pat, the number 4, governor, GOVENOR.org. And I'm going to ask Professor actually put that up while you're addressing the second issue.
Yes.
And I think this will be a
Yeah.
good way to wrap up too as
Yes.
well. So
Thank
why don't you
you.
share? Oh yeah, you're welcome. Well, let's talk about these other two, and that is again dealing with let me get it right: mental health and physical health, which this month is mental health month
Yes, it is.
awareness.
And we have a mental health pandemic.
Come on.
And some you've heard and you've talked to, I'm sure you've probably heard and talked to friends or loved ones, and you've heard them say that the pandemic did this, the pandemic did that. But I say, and I believe that the pandemic only just put a spotlight on what was already there, or maybe just magnified it just a little bit more. It, especially if you were already dealing with depression, and if you lived alone, then what you found yourself, where you find yourself now, is even more depressed, because you
Correct.
have depression and isolation. So what we would like to do is, there are so many communities that we do not have mental health care facilities
Correct.
or centers. We would like to implement a center in every county. And we would also like to make it accessible to every citizen, whether they have the money to pay for it or not, because mental health is oftentimes the underlying reason why they are in prison. So we are locking them up instead of treating them. So we would like to see them being treated. We would also like to minimize the disparities in healthcare,
Yes.
because we have counties across this state, you all, that do not have hospitals. I've talked to people down in the rural counties that have to drive 50, 60
Yeah.
miles
Yeah.
to just see a
Clinic.
physician.
To get to a clinic
Exactly.
or
And don't have an accident. And you look, you need a life flight. That's the problem right there, because then you're at the mercy of God. Am I going to live, or, am I going to die? So, what I would like to do is those areas where we've lost hospitals, let's place hospitals or some type of urgent facility
urgent care.
in those areas. And let's expand the role of the nurse practitioner in order to provide care for our citizens. I talked to one lady in a rural county again, who her physician left and another physician came in.
Yeah.
And that physician didn't know about, they should have, but there was no continuity of care,
Right.
a continuation of care, you all,
Come on.
where one doctor passes on to another one what you're taking. And if you're not your own advocate and knowledgeable about your own medications, or have someone in your family that's knowledgeable, then you can be over medicated. This young lady, well, she's a senior.
Right.
She was taking 3 high blood pressure meds.
Uh,
Why? Because this doctor came in, and they get, some of the physicians are offered, and I'm not knocking that. If you go to a rural area and you serve for 5 to 6 years, then we're going to forgive your student loans. They satisfy that and they leave. But why are they leaving? Number one, part of the reason why they're leaving is because of the education
correct.
in the
Correct.
schools. I mean, in those cities. Then the livable wages. They may be charging you, but they can only charge you so much.
Right, because you don't have the income
Exactly.
as a whole region to be able to sustain their salary of 6
Exactly.
figures when they can move to a larger city.
And that's what happens. And they do. And then another one comes and they start all over. So what I would like to do is bring that nurse practitioner
That's
in,
awesome.
expand her role, and allow her to function as a provider. And while we're working on our platform and getting our cities better, then they will stay.
Correct.
Because what? Alabama, we can do better.
Come on, y'all. Put your hands together. This is good. This is good. So let me ask one more question. Because I do, and if there's anyone that has a question in the audience, this will be the time. We have a microphone to my left, your right, if you do want to ask a question. If not, then or you can post it in the chat. No More Dirty Ink is the YouTube channel. So is there any other closing remarks you like to share? And again, of course, share what it is you want Alabama, we Alabamians, to do on Tuesday, May the 24th.
My fellow Alabamians, I would like to first of all thank you for taking the time out to hear us on this afternoon. But I also would like to take this opportunity to ask you for your vote on Tuesday, May 24th, and allow me, along with you, to implement this platform that we have to make Alabama better, because we can unite and we can do better. Just let me lead the way. Vote for Patricia Salter Jamieson, number 3 on the ballot Tuesday. Thank you so very much.
Come on, y'all. Put your hands together. Put your hands together up in here, up in here. Wow. And thank you for allowing us to host this conversation. You could have went
Thank you.
anywhere. You could have went anywhere. And you came all the way up here to Huntsville, Alabama to share with fellow Alabamians in this greater Madison County area and surrounding
you all
areas
so
in North
much.
Alabama, really, actually. And so, again, we will rebroadcast this again on tomorrow, Monday, at 7:30. So you want to do 7 or 7:30? What do you prefer?
Let's do 7.
All right, so we'll do 7 o'clock. That'll give you all time. Get off work, make your last check. You may do your last check rounds, get your kids set up for bed, and whatever you do. So 7 o'clock. We'll do it 7 o'clock, Professor X, tomorrow, and and also you'll have a copy of it so you can share it and post on your website. All
Thank
right.
you.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. And I hope you all in the studio. Let's give it up for our studio audience that came. We got some of them came from down south as well, some in the area here, and we've seen some of the young folk too as well. That's what's up. So again, on behalf of us here at No More Dirty Ink, we want to say thank you. We wanted to be able, and you all know how we are. We try our best to really present some really good information and just share the good things that are happening in our state, in our city, and in our counties alike. And on behalf of myself, thank you, Sean. Let's put our hands together for my co-producer, Professor X, in the background, keeping it right, and for the whole crew. So I think this is a wrap up. I tell you what, let's go out with a bang. AI Anomaly is another female MC that I love. She's like my favorite, and she was rocking hard like you was rocking tonight. So she has a song, right?
May I share
Go ahead.
one
Go ahead.
thing?
Go ahead.
You all, I almost forgot.
Okay, I'm listening. We listening.
My favorite scripture, remember
Oh,
I
that's right.
shared
Okay,
with
so
you?
that's a great way to do that and have a prayer for you. So, what's your favorite scripture before we do the video by AI Anomaly? And it's called "Miss Me with That."
Okay, all right. But we
Okay,
gonna
what's
look.
up?
It's gonna be Proverbs 29:2, and I'm gonna paraphrase it for you.
Okay, all right, cool.
Did we talk about it?
No, we did not. So why don't
Okay.
let me read. Let me pull
Read
that
it,
up, and
read
then
it.
I want you to expound on that. Then we're going to have closing prayer and ask God to bless you as we leave this place, but as you continue your campaign trail.
Thank you. It's 29:2.
All right, Proverbs 29:2, and it reads, and then you're hearing, when the righteous are in authority. Oh, wait a minute. Now she about to preach this one. This is a good wrap up. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Yes.
Let me say that again. Y'all gonna have me get you go ahead and turn this track up too, brother. When the righteous are in authority, that means right doers that sit in high places.
Yes.
When they sit in high places and they make right decisions, it makes the people rejoice because they're benefited, they're blessed, and so on. But, however,
Yes.
but when the wicked that sit in authority
Mm-hmm.
beareth, meaning they just press down on people at their expense,
Mm-hmm.
the people mourn and grieve grievously. What does that mean? And why you choose that? That's a powerful one, by the way.
Because when the righteous, well, first of all, you all know we've heard about spiritual wickedness in what? High places. High places.
Yeah.
So when we have the righteous in authority, we're going to celebrate, aren't we? Because we know that we're going to get some things done for the good of the state.
Correct.
For the betterment of all the people.
Yeah.
And then when we have the wicked in authority, the people just, I'm talking about just groan. Haven't we not been groaning and moaning and lamenting and crying and saying, woe is me, help us, Lord, mercy? That's what that means to me. And I'm saying if you elect Patricia Salter Jamieson as your next governor, I will tell you that I'm not righteous, but I'm righteous because of him who lives in me.
Come on now.
And because of him who lives in me, I have been made righteous. So I promise you that I will rule justly and I'll make justly decisions for all of Alabama because Alabama United, we can do better.
And we'll do better. Come on, y'all. This is good.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Let me
Thank
pray.
you.
Let me pray and ask God's blessing as
Thank
you do what you do. And then we're going to go out with the song again. It's called Miss Me With That. Don't be talking all of this, yeah. Miss me with that if you don't go vote.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You have the best opportunity to be the greatest change agent because you're alive, you're well, you're in your right mind, and you can make a right decision to put the right person in the right seat so
Yes.
that if that right person is doing the right thing, then all things shall be right and new. And you can rewrite history
Yes.
for the betterment of this state, this great state of Alabama.
Yes.
And as you have said profoundly, and your quote is, your theme is, would you share it?
It is Alabama United, and we can do better.
So let's pray and ask God to bless us to be better. So, Father, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for this amazing conversation with Patricia Salter Jamieson, who is running for the seat of governor. We thank you for her willingness. We thank you for her obedience to you. We thank you for the opportunity to learn and glean and share. We thank you for what you are doing behind the scenes and the things that we have all seen in this governorial candidacy in this race. I can always get that word. But I thank you, Lord, for just making every crooked area straight. I ask you to put a special hedge of protection around her. And I ask that you would just continue to bless her team, continue to bless her efforts, continue to be with the people in this great state of Alabama as we strive to and must be better and do better. And so, Lord, on Tuesday, the 24th of May, from the 7 o'clock to the 7 p.m., I ask, Holy Spirit, that you would just lead and guide us and strengthen us and prick our hearts so that we will not take this amazing privilege and right for granted. That we will, as individuals and collectively as Alabamians, become a more united Alabama. And as Patricia Jamieson has said so eloquently, we must be better and we must do better. In the name of he who makes all things well, Yeshua the Christ, Jesus of the Bible. Amen. Amen. Come on, y'all. Give it up again for Patricia Salter Jamieson as she runs on the platform of the Democratic Party for governor of this great state of Alabama. Come on, one more again. Let's give it up. And we want you to know, miss us with that if you ain't gonna get up here and vote on Tuesday, because I will be mad. And y'all know we around the world with No More Dirty. This is a stay clean, stay locked, and vote on Tuesday. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Thank you.
The blood of Christ made us clean.
The No More Dirty TV show, hosted by Minister Fred 2, airing the cleanest and dopest music videos in the industry every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the No More Dirty Inc. YouTube channel. We got clean, positive Christian hip-hop and urban music for your viewing and listening pleasure. We also have music video exclusives, interviews, ciphers, life lessons, and more. Make sure to follow us at Minister Fred 2, at No More Dirty Inc., and at No More Dirty Radio Show. For more information, email us at info@nomoredirty.org or call 256-698-9749. The No More Dirty TV Show. Connect with us and tune in.
with that. Miss me with, along with others with those same doubts about me. Miss me with that negativity. Miss me with that. Miss me with that. Go ahead and miss me with that. Miss me with that. Oh no, I can't kick it with that. I ain't with that. Go ahead and miss me with that. Miss me with that. Ain't no time to wait. Quiet your complaint. Move out my way. Go ahead and miss me with that. Miss me with that. Steady pacing, steady moving, that's the way it go. I ain't quitting, I ain't giving in and letting go. It's looking crooked, I ain't sweat, I'ma keep it going. I feel broken, I feel lost, about to brush it off. Keep it booking, keep it focused, keep it flowing, yo. I see you pushing, keep pursuing if you take a loss. Take your walk, grab it by the neck, tell it quiet down. Passion pumping, go ahead and flex, fly it off the ground. Anything other than that. Miss me with that, miss me with that. Go ahead and miss me with that, miss me with that. Oh no, I can't kick you with that. I ain't with that. Go ahead and miss me with that, miss me with that. Ain't no time to wait. Quiet your complaint. Move out my way. Go get us. The type of people you should keep around you. Don't be consumers. They always wanting, but never have enough. Be producers. Be consistent. Doors will open up and keep it loyal. Integrity. It really means so much. Money manage. Make your profit. Let it make some noise and quit complaining. Go find a way that you can make some changes. What life you living? If it ain't true, quit your fairy telling it. Get your tail up, make some moves, grow from failing. Watch the winners, take some notes, and don't be jealous. Ask your questions, learn something, then go teach some lessons. Be about your business, start and finish. You don't need permission. Keep away from foolish intention. Don't let that lazy hit you. Rooted in my faith, keep my mission in my face. I got a vision I can taste. I ain't greedy with this steak. I ain't afraid to share the plate. But if you ain't about this weight, it's plenty room up in this space. Go ahead and find your way, but miss me with that, yeah. Completely miss me with that, yeah. That fear coming, I can't kick it with that, no. That doubt coming, I can't get it with that, no. Miss me with that, miss me with that. Go ahead and miss me with that, miss me with that. Oh no, I can't kick it with that. I ain't with that. Go ahead and miss me with that, miss me with that. Ain't no time to wait. Quiet your complaint. Tell my doubts, tell my fears. Move out my way. Go ahead and miss me with that, miss me with that. Miss me with that, miss me with that. Ain't no time to wait. Had to tell myself. Quiet your complaint. Had to tell myself. Miss me with that, miss me with that. Go ahead and miss me with that. Miss me.
Not a professional politician. I've not held an official political seat. I have not made any backdoor deals. I don't have a personal agenda. I am a lifelong Alabamian who cares about the state and where it's headed. I am a mother who understands the need for an improved and equal education system. I am someone that desires prison reformation. I'm a citizen of Birmingham, Alabama, where increased crime is a concern. I'm a working class citizen who understands the power of a livable wage. I am a native of Atmore, Alabama, and I understand the need for healthcare funding in rural areas for hospitals and treatment centers. I'm a sister of a veteran that have served our country yet have been failed by the VA in this state. I'm a woman who understands that the people are more important than political profiting. I'm a woman who desires to see Alabama at the top with other states in this country. I'm someone seeking your vote and support. As a Democratic candidate for governor of the state of Alabama, I ask that you join me in the fight to improve our national rankings in healthcare, judicial practices, economics, and social issues. I believe that Alabama can unify and beat the opposition that face us. With your help in assisting me in becoming Alabama's next governor, I will ensure we progress and become the state we were meant to be. Let me lead the way.